And joining us immediately with some breaking news is our political editor, Christopher Hope.
Tom and Emily, big news here on the left of the Labour Party. Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana have confirmed they are launching a new political party. Its name is TBC. It is called at the moment Your Party, like perhaps Your M&S maybe, but Your Party. That'll be changed as this party develops. They're asking right now in the past 5 minutes for people to sign up to be part of an inaugural conference. At this conference, they're saying its members will decide the party's direction, the model of leadership and the policies that are needed to transform society. This is how we build a democratic movement that can take on the rich and powerful and win. And it's signed by Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. Now, this new idea has been emerging for a few weeks. Zara Sultana, of course, put out a statement quitting the Labour Party, saying she's going to launch a new party. Jeremy Corbyn was said to be a bit upset by the timing of that announcement, not aware of it, but it now looks like they've got their ducks in a row. They are formally launching a party. This is bad news, I think, for the Labour Party. It could take 1 or 2% off them in the polls. It could also impact on the Green Party, which is increasingly becoming more like a Corbynista party, and it could actually support and strengthen Reform's lead in the polls, and probably also help the Tory party. So big news here in the left of politics. And then we see on screen there pictures there of Jeremy Corbyn on a, it looks like a rail strike there with the former head of the TUC. It looks to me like this could be a concern here for the Labour Party. It could support reform, and yet again it shows to me how we're going towards a 5-party politics. If this party can take 10 or 12% in the polls, that will be a problem for Labour in the same way that reform is a problem for the Tory party.
Well, Christopher, it's interesting. They've got their website up and running, yourparty.uk, because when Zara Sultana appeared to jump the gun, a couple of weeks ago with the announcement of this new party, the link that she was sharing with the world was to her own personal page, yes, wasn't it? And now there's this new website for Your Party, and they've got a homepage, they've got a statement, they've got a donation page. So they're trying to get their ducks in a row, but I'm not sure it's been the most well-organised launch.
No, but we saw a lot of this chaos under Jeremy Corbyn when he was leader. But the language in the statement, Tom and Emily, is so interesting. Our movement is made up of people of all faiths and none, which clearly is a bid for you'd argue it's the Muslim vote, Muslim people in the UK concerned about what's happening in Gaza. The great dividers that you want to think that the problems in our society are caused by migrants or refugees. They call other people the dividers. They say those aren't the divisions in the society. They're caused by an economic system that protects corporations and billionaires. Well, let's wait for that wealth tax then, shall we, from them? It's ordinary people, they say, who create the wealth, and it's ordinary people who have the power to put that back where it belongs. They say they cannot accept the injustices. There's no money for the poor, but billions for war. Imagine that being a chant, can't you, in one of these campaign movements when they start going. So I think increasingly we're going to see the left divided in the same way the right is divided. Politics is getting a lot more interesting in the coming months.
Absolutely. Really interesting to see that first few words on their statement as well. The system is rigged. I mean, that's something that Donald Trump says. This is really sort of left populist language. It'll be absolutely fascinating to see where this party polls when it does launch.
And also, Tom, on that point, it's also what Nigel Farage says, isn't it?
Yes.
That point about both the left and the right on the extremes, some would say reform is there too. They're arguing that it's not working and here's your answer. And so almost politics is being pushed out to the margins again.
Really interesting stuff. Well, Christopher Hope, thanks for joining us there at the top of the show with that breaking news.
They were going to have 15% according to some polls, this new party. Yeah. Also, it does sound like Your Party is the name. But perhaps that might change. I don't know. You'd have to change the website then, wouldn't you?
I think they can probably afford a new URL if they must. But of course, whilst this new party is being launched, it's a pain in the backside for the Prime Minister. But he's been busy today.
Yes, he's been busy with India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he's signed off a trade deal worth billions of pounds, apparently an investment for the British economy.
Well, the Prime Minister and his Indian counterparts have also reportedly agreed to ramp up joint efforts to tackle illegal migration and organised crime. Well,
GBNews political correspondent Katherine Forster joins us here in the studio. So, Katherine, I think what people want to know is whether this is a win for Britain.
Yes, well, I'm just going to make a comment about this new party, if I may, because what struck me reading the letter is the similarity. OK, not the stuff about, he said, he wants you, that people, dividers want you to think the problem is created by migrants and refugees. It's not. But the language in terms of the system is rigged, very much like Nigel Farage, Britain is broken. There is quite a lot of crossover with some of Nigel Farage's policies on nationalisation, on welfare, with the left. And just thinking about the government's announcement last week about votes for 16 and 17-year-olds, an assumption you would think that a lot of those votes are going to go to Labour. Young people are attracted to radicalism, whether that's Nigel Farage or whether more traditionally on the left. I think this party, sure, could take a big chunk of votes from Labour, but also those 16 to 17-year-olds, a lot of those potentially too.
The youth, yes.
Hello, I'm Bev Turner. Now, it can feel like the money in our bank accounts at the moment does not keep up with the cost of living, and maybe there's a solution. I'm here today with the CEO of TallyMoney, Cameron Parry. Cameron, what is TallyMoney?
Well, Bev, with TallyMoney, you get a current account and a debit card, but instead of pounds, you use milligrams of gold as your everyday money.
So why gold?
Gold traditionally is a great store of value. It has, on average, gone up at over 11% per annum for the last 25 years against the pound. It's tripled in value in the last decade. And in the last 2 years alone, it's increased by 50% against the pound. Banks' savings products just can't compete with that level of growth.
But this isn't just about gold. This is about a currency that you guys have created at TallyMoney. Explain it to me as though I'm an idiot.
So, look, people need to be able to hold their earnings and build their savings in a money that retains its value and remains in their legal control and remains theirs to access, away from government control.
Great. You had me at not exposed to government control.
You should feel safe and happy with your money. You should have peace of mind. The more money you see in your bank balance, and that's the type of thing we're trying to deliver, and give people choice in the type of money they get to use every day.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Cameron. Thank you.
Now, in the last hour, it has been announced that Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana have confirmed plans for a new political party. But what is this party to be called?
Well, GBNews political correspondent Katherine Forster joins us now with the latest. Have they messed up again?
It has been rather confusing, shall we say, because it's only about 3 or 4 weeks since Zara Sultana, one of the two people who's announced this new party, announced she was forming a new party with Jeremy Corbyn on X. Jeremy Corbyn said nothing, and then it emerged he was rather cross because that wasn't how it's supposed to be done. Now we've had this joint announcement this lunchtime inviting people to sign up at www.yourparty.uk. So lots of people have been reporting that this party is called Your Party. Zara Sultana has then responded, it's not called Your Party.
It is now.
Basically, that is just an interim name. It's a holding thing. When you go to yourparty.uk, you've got this statement from Jeremy Corbyn, an invitation for donations. But fundamentally, they are saying the system is rigged. They are calling for a mass redistribution of wealth and power. They're saying that those that want you to think there's problems in
Katherine,
society...
just a quick one, just the tweet there on our screen.
Yes. Oh, there you have it. There you have it. So people are reporting it as it's called Your Party, and there Zara Sultana has responded.
It's not your party.
It's not Your Party, but I saw it reported widely as called Your Party all over the place, and now lots of corrections being made.
Confusing.
So very confusing, but saying, dividers want you to think the problems in our society are caused by migrants or refugees. They are not. Clearly, a big point of difference with Reform, who are very hardline on the problems that immigration are causing, but some crossover too, because These guys are going to be very radical on the left, just as Reform is being very radical on the right. And they could potentially do a lot of damage to Labour. There was polling done very recently which suggested that they could get 10% of the vote, both from Labour and from the Greens. So Keir Starmer's problems, I think, with this could be just beginning.
Yeah, that's why this matters, isn't it?
Although, of course, we have had new parties in the past. There was, of course, Change UK. They tried to change their name to the Independent Group, and then it became Change UK, the Independent Group, and then the Independent Group for Change.
You've got to launch with a name.
It was just as much chaos, and that party flopped.
We needed a name before we launched our show, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Anyway.